Hello there, it's Adam Scott Campbell again. I am on my YouTube channel about to divulge um, a moment or two that I've had that were stellar life moments again. Not sure how this will go, but we'll see. This first event, this first stellar life moment happened when I was very much in a unstable phase. Um, having I've talked about it in previous episodes, or um, that I have a recurring brain tumor, and one of the one of the byproducts or side effects of that brain tumor is that I'm not. Sometimes I'm fine, sometimes I'm stable, sometimes I'm not, and so this happened at a time when I was unstable. I was living under my parents' roof at the time, and um, I had the ability to just leave my parents' house, go for walks, what have you. I was familiar with getting on and off a bus, a light rail, if I needed to. So this time I left my parents' house, and I left home, and I just I grabbed the bus that was right close to our home. I took that bus to the light rail. I jumped on the light rail, and um, the very next station after I jumped on, I had this pull. I felt this pull, and I was basically, for whatever reason, just pretty much dragged off the light rail by uh, some emotion, some power, some feeling that I had, and I'm off the light rail. I'm at the next light rail station. I'm looking along the track, and the benches that they have there, and I see a woman who's um, clearly not doing so well herself either. She's 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 talking to herself, muttering, hand motions, and there's no one next to her, no one she's talking to. She's talking to herself, and I go up to her and I ask her, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" And she kind of shakes her head, and she's just like, "No," in a kind of dazed sounding voice. She's just like, "No, no, I'm not all right." Um, and then she tells me she's like, I don't know where I am. I need to go home. And of course, I'm thinking, oh boy. So I she hands me this little. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a little tiny scrap of paper. The scrap of paper has a phone number written on it. I take my cell phone. I call the number, just wondering what in the world's going to happen. A lady answers the phone, and she says, and I tell her what's happening, and she says she's not stable. Speaking of my new friend, she's not stable. She needs to come home. She's not safe. And so I'm thinking, oh boy. So uh, I, I, I tell her that I tell the woman on the phone I'll get her there, and I of course I don't have a car. I got here on the light rail, and I don't drive anymore, and um, so I tell the woman who's not in her right frame of mind. I'm like, we need to get going. She says okay. She gets to her feet, and we start walking. I have no idea where the place is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get there, of course. And this I ask directions from a passerby, and because I do have a name of the place, and she says, "Oh, it's here, here, and here. You need to turn here. You need to turn there. Turn right, turn left. Go to this street." And of course, I'm trying to remember everything the passerby is saying. At least she's being friendly, but I don't remember. I don't remember much of what she says. I have a brain tumor, and so my memory isn't what it needs to be or could be. And uh, but we start walking after the lady gives us directions, and we're crossing streets, we're crossing avenues, and I'm trying to keep the lady balanced and stable. She's walking very imbalanced. She's very just kind of lurching this way and that. And I'm just thinking, how in the world are we going to do this? Probably we're walking for maybe 20 minutes or so or something, crossing streets and avenues, like I said. And it's just like, I didn't know what to do other than just keep going. Finally, the passerby who gave us directions, drives up in her car and offers us a ride, which is, of course, the lady was a saint. She's got, two complete strangers she's letting into her car. One of them is obviously not stable, and I'm not stable either. And she lets us into her car and drives us to the place. And I find out when we get there, it's a halfway house. And so I walk the woman to the door, knock on the door, intercom answers, and I say I brought so and so. I don't remember her name now, and but I brought so and so, and she's here. She's like, oh, thank goodness, and the woman buzzes her in, and I can't go in, of course. It's a halfway house, but she's let into the place, and I walk back to the car of the lady who gave us a ride, and she graciously gives me a ride back to the light rail. It was just an amazing experience, and of course I'm filled with fear the whole time, thinking we're not going to get there, but we got there thanks to this lady, this saint of a person, and I actually just went back home after that. I was just kind of overwhelmed, and it was interesting. Like maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks later, I'm in the same area, the same general area. I see the same woman who had been troubled, sitting on a bench or sitting on a chair or a park bench or something like she'd been before, but this time she's in her right frame of mind, and she doesn't recognize me. She doesn't know who I am, but I go up to her and I ask her, "Are you feeling okay?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing great." She's speaking coherently, and I just told her, I was like, I'm glad you're doing okay. I was really worried about you. And her eyes get wide, and she's just like, "Oh, that was you." And she gets up and she gives me this hug, and it's like, I don't, I don't share these stellar life moments thinking that I'm better than or more capable than or, in any way superior to anybody else. I'm unstable. I have a brain tumor. I'm, all kinds of stuff. But sometimes, God, grace, divine providence, it just steps in and uses whoever's willing to work good. So moral to that story, to this episode's story of this YouTube channel, I think just being receptive to the idea that people need help, and just being open to receiving the experiences that come will bring those experiences. And I think that's really vital to each of us individually and as neighbors, friends, strangers. So just food for thought. And I'm grateful for both of these women who I interacted with and was able to get to know a little tiny bit. Whether either of them are, I hope that if they ever watch this, or I just hope that they're doing well. And I hope you all have a great, fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much, and thanks for watching. Again, it's Adam Scott Campbell.